When my dad got sick, I moved back home to take care of him. My sister stayed in her condo, posted yoga pics, and said she was sending good energy. After he passed, we found out he'd left me the house, but she'd already emptied it out. You don't even like his stuff, she said, loading boxes into a moving truck. She took the TV, the china cabinet, and even his wedding ring. Then she posted a photo of it on Instagram with the caption, "Rest easy, Daddy. I got everything." I reported her for theft. Now my family won't speak to me. Last year, I put my entire life on hold when my dad got sick. I quit my job. I left my apartment in Pittsburgh. I packed everything I owned into my old Camry and drove straight back to Dayton, Ohio, where I grew up. Dad was diagnosed with stage 4 pancreatic cancer. The kind that gives you no real chance. By the time the doctors caught it, he had maybe a year. I was the one who took care of him, day in, day out. I made his meals. Changed him when he couldn't get to the bathroom. I held him when the pain got too bad. Some nights he cried himself to sleep while I sat next to his bed. I was there for all of it. My sister, Rachel, did nothing. She stayed in Columbus, about 90 minutes away. That sounds close, right? But she never once drove up. Not even after the diagnosis. Not even during the holidays. She said the hospital environment gave her anxiety. She didn't want to remember Dad that way. Instead, she posted photos of herself doing yoga by the river, sipping green juice, smiling like nothing was happening. Her texts were always vague. Thinking of you both. Sending light and love. Manifesting peace for Dad. That kind of crap. Meanwhile, I was wiping vomit off the floor. She called maybe once every 2 months. One time she sent Thai curry through DoorDash. He couldn't eat it because of the chemo. I threw it in the fridge, then tossed it out 3 days later. I didn't say anything. I just kept my head down and did the work. I was angry, yeah, but Dad needed me, and I wasn't about to let him die alone. In the last 2 weeks, he couldn't speak anymore. He just looked at me, sometimes reaching for my hand. I told him stories about our old fishing trips, about how he taught me to drive. I knew he was listening because he'd squeeze my hand. He passed away on a Thursday morning in January. Quiet. Peaceful. Just me and him. It felt like the end of something huge. I cried so hard I couldn't breathe. Rachel showed up for the funeral in a long coat and heels, like she was heading to a cocktail party. She cried for show, dabbed her eyes with a silk handkerchief. People hugged her and said, "You were such a good daughter," and she nodded like she'd earned it. But the worst part came 3 days later. I came back from a walk and saw a U-Haul in the driveway. At first, I thought maybe someone got the wrong address. But then I saw Rachel and her boyfriend Kyle hauling stuff out of the house. I walked inside and stopped cold. The TV from Dad's den, gone. The china cabinet from the dining room, gone. Even the framed photo of our grandparents was missing from the hallway. Rachel was in the living room, boxing up our dad's medals. His watch. His wedding ring. "What the hell are you doing?" I asked. She didn't even blink. "Relax. It's just stuff." "No, it's not. That was Dad's. He left it to me." She smirked. "You don't even like any of this old junk. You hate that cabinet. You called it ugly when we were kids. That doesn't matter. It's mine now." He left the house and everything in it to me. Kyle kept carrying boxes out like nothing was happening. I followed her outside. "Put it back, Rachel. All of it." She rolled her eyes. "You got the house. I'm just taking a few things to remember him by." "You took his ring." She smiled. "He would have wanted me to have it." I didn't say another word. I just took pictures. Her, the truck, the boxes, everything. I called the lawyer and showed him the photos and the will. He said it was clear, she was stealing. The will said everything in the house belonged to me now. Then I saw the Instagram post. She posted a photo of herself holding up Dad's ring against the sunset with the caption, "Rest easy, Daddy. I got everything yellow heart #family #heirloom." I almost threw my phone across the room. I showed that to the lawyer too. He said I could press charges. So I did. The police showed up at her condo. They did a full inventory. She claimed she didn't know it wasn't hers. She said we're family, it's all shared anyway. She even tried to say I was too emotional and holding on to grief in the wrong way. But here's where it got worse. My aunts called me, furious. "How could you call the cops on your sister?" "She was grieving," one said. "She didn't mean it," said another. "You should have talked to her." Even our mom, who hasn't spoken to Rachel in years, called to say I'd embarrassed the family. They all took her side. Now nobody calls me. Nobody checks in. I spent a year keeping Dad alive, and now I'm the villain. But I still don't regret it. After I reported Rachel, things got ugly fast. The day after the police came to her condo, she blew up my phone. 20 missed calls. Then the text started. "You're sick. Dad would hate you for this. Enjoy rotting in that dusty house alone." Then she posted another Instagram story. A picture of her crying, holding an empty ring box. The caption said, "Some people only care about money, not memories. Broken heart." Her followers ate it up. A bunch of people commented things like "Stay strong, Queen," and "You don't need toxic family." I started getting DMs from strangers. One said, "You're a disgusting thief. She's your sister." Another just said, "Rot in hell." I deleted my own Instagram after that. A week later, the police dropped the charges. Not because she didn't do it, they knew she had, but because it's a family matter and the DA didn't want to pursue it. Still, the lawyer helped me file a civil suit to get the items back. That's still in process. But Rachel didn't stop there. One night around 2 a.m., I woke up to the sound of something hitting the house. I looked outside and saw my dad's old mailbox, ripped from its post and tossed into the bushes. There was toilet paper strung across the tree in the front yard. And on the porch, in chalk, someone wrote, "Thief." It wasn't kids. I knew it. I checked my security camera the next morning. Rachel wasn't in the footage, but Kyle was. His dumb face was clear as day, holding the chalk like a middle schooler. The lawyer said I could add that to the harassment claim. I filed a report, but nothing came of it. I told myself I was done. I'd block her out. Focus on fixing up the house. Start my life again. But then I found out what she did next. Dad had a storage unit 2 towns over. I didn't even know about it until the bill showed up in the mail. I went there with the spare key he kept in the garage. When I got there, it was empty. Gone, the old army footlocker with letters from our grandparents, his high school yearbook, a few old hunting rifles, even our childhood drawings in a plastic bin. All of it. The manager said someone had come by 2 weeks ago with a key and cleaned it out. A woman, early 30s, long dark hair. Said her dad passed and she was just picking up her inheritance. Rachel. I stood in that empty unit for 5 minutes before I screamed. I actually screamed. Just me and a concrete room and a rusted-out lock. The next day, I drove to Columbus. I didn't call. I didn't warn her. I showed up at her condo and banged on the door. When she opened it, she looked like she'd seen a ghost. "What are you doing here?" I walked right in. "Where is it?" "Excuse me?" "Dad's things. From the storage unit." She laughed. "You're unhinged." I walked past her into the apartment. It was spotless. No sign of the old trunk. No sign of anything from the house. "You think I'm stupid?" I said. "You cleaned it out before I even knew it existed." She stood in the doorway, arms crossed. You had your chance. You got the house. That's more than you deserve. He left it to me. All of it. She smiled. Cold. You think that house makes you the favorite? You think 8 months of playing nurse makes up for being dad's second choice your whole life? That hit me. Because it wasn't true, but she believed it. I was there, I said. You didn't even show up. She stepped closer. You always needed a pat on the head for doing the bare minimum. Newsflash, I had a life. You gave yours up because you had nothing else. I stared at her, stunned. You're disgusting. And you're boring, she snapped. You can have the moldy furniture. I took the good stuff. That was it. I turned and left. I wanted to hit something, but I didn't. I called the lawyer again. He said we could amend the suit, add the storage unit items. It's going to court now. Real court. I wish that were the end of it. But it's not. A few weeks after that showdown at Rachel's condo, I got a letter in the mail. It was from a law firm in Columbus. At first, I thought it was about the civil suit. But no, it was from Rachel. She was suing me. According to her lawyer, she was filing a claim for emotional distress and reputational damage caused by my malicious accusations and public defamation. She said I'd ruined her career. She was a part-time wellness coach now, teaching yoga and posting spiritual advice on social media. Apparently, someone had found the police report and shared it in a local community group. Her following dropped. She'd lost 2 sponsorships. She blamed me for all of it. I called my lawyer in a panic. Can she really do this? He sighed. She can try. Doesn't mean it'll go anywhere. It was like playing legal ping pong. Every time I took a step forward, she launched something back at me. My savings were drying up fast. I was still living in the house, alone, working part-time at a grocery store just to keep the lights on. Meanwhile, Rachel was posting selfies from some yoga retreat in Arizona, acting like nothing was happening. Then the real twist came. My dad's old friend, George, reached out to me. I hadn't seen him since the funeral. He said he needed to talk, face to face. We met at a little diner off I-70. Over coffee, he told me something I didn't expect. Your dad came to me about 6 months before he passed, George said. He was worried Rachel was going to pull something after he died. I blinked. He said that? Yeah. He asked me to hold on to something for him. Told me to give it to you if anything happened. George slid an envelope across the table. Inside was a flash drive and a folded letter. The letter was short, just a few lines in Dad's handwriting. If you're reading this, it means Rachel did what I feared. She's always taken what wasn't hers. You have my blessing to do whatever you need to protect what's rightfully yours. The drive has recordings. Use them. My heart was pounding. When I got home, I plugged in the flash drive. There were 3 audio files. All recordings of phone calls between Dad and Rachel from the months before he died. She didn't know he was recording them. Ohio's a one-party consent state, so it was legal. In the recordings, she was cold, even mocking. One call started with her saying, I can't believe you're giving her the house. She's a nobody. You owe me more than that. Another one, I don't care what the will says. I'll take what I want when you're gone. She won't stop me. In the last recording, Dad sounded tired. Weak. Rachel, please don't do this. She just laughed. I'll do what I want. She's not the boss. I sat there shaking. Part anger, part heartbreak. I sent the recording straight to my lawyer. This changed everything. My lawyer called me the next morning. He sounded more excited than I'd ever heard him. These recordings are gold. They show premeditation, intent, even manipulation. This is the leverage we need. We filed an emergency motion to present new evidence in the civil case. The judge approved it. Rachel's lawyer tried to block it, claimed the recordings were invasive. But the law was on my side. My lawyer sent the files directly to the court. I didn't have to say a word. Her voice said it all. Rachel sounded like a heartless thief, talking about what she'd take before Dad was even gone. The courtroom was dead silent while the clips played. I saw Rachel's face twitch the moment she heard her own voice. She tried to play it cool, but her hands were shaking. After that, everything moved fast. The judge ordered her to return all items she took, including everything from the storage unit. She also had to pay damages. Not much, just a few thousand. But the message was clear: she lost. The emotional distress lawsuit she filed against me? Thrown out. The judge called it frivolous and retaliatory. Her lawyer looked like he wanted to disappear. Rachel stormed out of the courtroom without looking at me. That should have been the end. But I wasn't done. I sent the recordings and court summary to every single person who turned their back on me. I emailed my aunts, my cousins, even our mom. No commentary, just the facts. I let Rachel's words speak for themselves. 2 days later, I got a message from Aunt Marcy. "I'm so sorry. We didn't know. We were wrong." Then another one from a cousin in Cincinnati: "She lied to us. You didn't deserve that." My phone stayed busy for days. Even my mom left me a voicemail. She sounded choked up. Said she'd been too quick to judge. She didn't apologize exactly, but it was the closest I'd get from her. Meanwhile, Rachel vanished from social media. She deleted her Instagram and her wellness brand page. Word spread in her yoga circles. People stopped inviting her to retreats. A few old clients posted about the court case, how she preached peace and healing while stealing from her dying father. Her little empire crumbled. I heard through the grapevine she moved to Michigan with Kyle. No one's seen her since. As for me, I stayed in Dad's house. Fixed it up room by room. Cleaned out the attic. Put his medals and watch in a shadow box on the mantel. His wedding ring sits in my drawer. I don't wear it, but I keep it close. I'd like to say I feel good. But the truth is, I don't feel anything when I think about Rachel now. Not hate. Not even anger. Just a cold kind of emptiness. She took everything she could, and still ended up with nothing. And maybe I lost a family in the process. But I protected what mattered. My dad. And myself. That's enough.